The joint statement of the Quad meet has spoken about several issues. One of the first issues on your screen is health security. They have been talking about this cancer moonshot program. So, Aarthi, could you take us through it?
Yeah, so the Moonshot program is quite interesting. The initiative is for cervical cancer majorly. And Prime Minister Modi as well has made some announcements, Vishal, as well, especially with regard to the vaccine, right? He said that India is going to be providing the vaccine. But if we just take a look at the joint statement that's come in, it says, in terms of COVID also, we've spoken about providing $5.6 billion to the COVAX advanced market commitment. Now, they have spoken about vaccine, health security across the globe. And this time around, as per the Ministry of External Affairs, they've also said, Vishal, that it is quite key for the Quad this time around for health and health care globally.
Put it into perspective, just in the year 2021 and 2022, the Quad nations had exported around 400 million doses of COVID vaccine, and right now they are also focusing on the Mpox outbreak in Africa and other nations. So there have been two variants of it that have plagued a lot of countries. So they are focusing on that, and they are trying to partner with many countries to help nations get up to speed with the vaccines. Other than the health security, there are several other factors that they have spoken about. The other one is that they have spoken about the United Nations Convention. They have spoken about the United Nations Security Council and want to expand it. There are about five permanent members of the UN Security Council: China, Russia, UK, France. So they want to expand it. So that's a strong statement coming from Quad. So
So they've also spoken about maritime security, right?
Yeah.
That's something interesting they've spoken about, specifically with regard to China, because we know that Quad is a grouping that has essentially been trying to come together to counter China's aggression.
Yes.
So in maritime security, they've sort of expressed concerns over South China Sea and China's expansionism in smaller nations and island nations there as well.
Last 6-7 months, especially, there have been many confrontations between China and Philippines regarding South China Sea. There have been accusations from both the sides that both side has been trying to do incursion into the other nation's waters. So the coast guards of both the countries have been ramming the ships into each other. Countries across the world have been expressing their concerns. So Quad has also spoken about it and addressed this really hot topic of Asia Pacific.
Right, talking about maritime security, there's another interesting initiative. First time ever there's going to be a Quad at sea sort of operation that they've launched, and then Indo-Pacific, there's been a maritime cooperation in the Quad. It's called Maritime. Take us through this, Vishal.
This is the first time that it will be introduced. This is Maritime Initiative for Training in the Indo-Pacific. As Aarthi mentioned, it's called Maitri. So India will be hosting the first conference of this Maitri initiative in 2025, which is next year. So it encompasses a lot of issues. We have been talking about maritime issues, the Asia Pacific region specifically. So all the four countries, India, Australia, Japan, they will combine their Coast Guard forces, and they will take this initiative forward.
Right, Vishal, if we go back to the cancer initiative, right, for a second, interestingly, they've spoken about what exactly the Quad Cancer Moonshot initiative is. If we see here, it says it's going to focus on cervical cancer majorly. Now, we know that cervical cancer is a preventable cancer, and interestingly, there have been a lot of work in India specifically for vaccination of cervical cancer. There's been, now this is being seen as a global push for ensuring that you prevent cervical cancer and HPV. So India has also stepped forward, Vishal. Can you take us through the
And Biden administration also has engaged its financial institution into providing the required finances so that this initiative could get up to speed. So the Cancer Moonshot program wants the access of the cancer treatment to get to a lot more people than it already has. So it's sort of restricted in the global scale. The treatment, they want it to expand to other nations, since Quad has nations from the Asia Pacific. So this initiative will definitely benefit India and other nations in the Asia Pacific.
And Vishal, won't it be, increasingly significant that the Quad is doing it? Because in terms of logistics and supply chains, a Quad has, based on their location and the way they are based, it has a longer reach in terms of the area that it can cover when it comes to supply chains. And especially if we're talking about vaccines, we saw how that worked during COVID as well.
That is true. So it's a very strategic area because South China Sea particularly has been an area that has been used to transport a lot of vaccines and other stuff. So this Quad meeting has definitely laid bare these initiatives and shed light on the importance of this whole area.
Right, and talking about maritime security, we did talk about China, Vishal, but interestingly, this has been the first time ever that the Quad has come out with a strong statement on North Korea as well and their ballistic missile tests.
So North Korea has been flagged as a nation of concern. So we'll get you more updates as and when we get from the Quad statements.